Hi, my name is Gracie, and I'll be discussing the motives that caused the Mexican American War and the impact of the war. The Mexican American War was a conflict between Mexico and the United States. The war took place between 1846 and 1848. The war resulted in the United States acquiring many different territories. These territories included California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and Wyoming. The war began with the annexing of Texas in 1845. Texas became the 28th state in the United States, while the move resulted in a border dispute with Mexico. The war ended with the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, which ultimately granted the land in question to the United States, while Mexico received $15 million. The most powerful motive of the war was manifest destiny. This was the belief that the United States was destined to expand across the North America continent from the Atlantic to the Pacific. Many Americans viewed this land grab as natural and necessary for the country's growth. The United States really wanted California and New Mexico because those regions were seen vital for trade with Asia. At first, James Polk tried to negotiate with Mexico, but when that failed, then he decided to use a military force to get what he wanted. Another motive behind the war was economic opportunities. Acquiring those many territories would give the United States access to fertile land, natural resources, and Pacific ports. Those areas were also good for new trade routes and markets. Political pressure is also something that exists. Expanding into new territories was supported by the politicians as they viewed it as a way to expand slave-holding regions. The impact of the war was significant. The war resulted in the United States gaining many different territories across the country to the Pacific Ocean. The addition of new territories intensified the debate over the expansion of slavery in the United States, which contributed to the growing tensions that led to the Civil War. The war also served as a training ground for future Confederate and Union generals who would fight in the Civil War. Some of these generals included Ulysses Grant, Robert Lee, and George McClellan. The war remains controversial as many people view the war as a land grab by the United States. There were many pros and cons for the war for the United States. The gaining of territories was the obvious main goal, as that led to economic opportunities for the United States. The war also provided invaluable experience for the United States to be able to test new equipments and strategies. Some cons that came with the war were many lives were lost. Around 38,000 lives were lost in the Mexican-American War. The war also resulted in increased tensions between the North and the South, which brought the nation one step closer to civil war. Thank you, and you do have a great day.